Hey everyone, it's Krystyna from Scandinavian Home Creations. Today I'm going to teach you about doing the step of wood filling. Once you have wiped your piece down, you've sanded it, you've gotten pretty much down to bare wood, especially if you're restaining. If you are just repainting a piece, you don't need to sand it down to bare wood. In fact, you might get some bleed through from the wood. So what's going to happen is once you've painted it, especially if you're using a mineral paint like chalk paint, you're going to see streaks of brown or red coming through your paint, and there's really nothing you can go do about this once you've painted it except to strip it back down, prime it, and try again. So if you're staining though, you do need to take off all the old finish, all the old stain. This antique hutch I've been doing, I put about 25 hours into sanding it so far. It's looking pretty good, and there are a few surface scratches that I haven't been able to sand out. You definitely want to be careful, especially if you're doing a veneer or if it's got a veneer on it. You can end up sanding through veneer and you'll take away the wood grain. So if you're sanding a piece and all of a sudden you see just a really smooth surface, like it's got no wood grain to it, it just kind of looks like MDF, then you definitely want to stop at that point. So I've got a couple spots I've already put wood filler on it, and I'll show you the process of sanding it off. But just so you can see what it looks like, you can get like a little can like this, you can get a tube of it. If you're just doing a few small projects, probably get something smaller than this because I find it tends to dry out fairly quickly. So you want to take something and stir it up, some kind of stir stick, or I'm just using a popsicle stick. Kind of mix it up. So it's a pretty thick kind of paste-like stuff. This brand is, let's see, Lepage. It says plastic wood made from wood fibers. I've had a lot of success with it. Like, it feels really nice. It dries to, it has a nice hard finish, and you can sand it down, and you don't even notice it once you go to stain or paint it again, which is perfect. So just use like a putty knife, and it's just like applying spackle to your walls if you've ever patched scratches or dents in your walls. Take a small amount of product to start with. I'm going to show you on a scrap piece of wood that has some nail holes in it here. And you just apply it gently over there. You don't need to go over it too many times. Just push it into the cracks or the holes or whatever. There, and it's going to be kind of chunky. Just leave that. I find going over it too many times, you'll start taking your product back off that you've already applied, which isn't helpful. Leave it for several hours to dry, especially if you filled deeper holes. If you've got a really deep hole, a really deep scratch, I would do it in a few parts, otherwise it's going to take ages to dry. So set that aside. That's all you really need to do, but definitely don't skip this step for refinishing a piece. If you're staining, painting, whatever, as soon as you put that fresh coat on, those scratches are going to show up instantly. So take the time, once you've sanded your piece down and there's things like surface scratches that haven't come out, dents, you can even do some, like if there's nicks out of the edges of chairs or something, you can kind of patch it up a little bit. Wear a pair of gloves if you're doing it. I find it's fairly corrosive again on your skin.